It's time for Crackin' It.
Let's get crackin'
with Max.
Welcome back to another episode of Crackin' It with Max. My name is Max Joseph, and this is the most excited I've been since I wore a full tuxedo to see Iron Man in 2008 after my High School Musical ceremony. I think I won an award for Beauty and the Beast for Best Supporting Actor. No, seriously, I did all of these things. Anyway, this is Avengers Infinity War. Let's talk about what this movie's about. Just kidding, it's been 19 movies. You know what this is. It's about a big purple guy, and it's Thanos, so we know it, right? Okay, cool. How I felt about it. I loved this movie. I don't care what people say. This has the potential to be my favorite MCU movie of all time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit on it for a little, see how time treats it, but it's just so... The amount of talent that was on my screen was just like overwhelming in the best way possible. So many stories and people I've been following for the past 10 years, all together in one giant movie. Come on! The fight sequences, the costumes, the jokes, the music, the everything. I fell in love immediately. Did it have some things to nitpick? Of course. But I'm not the nitpicker, that's Xander. But listen, this movie had so much to live up to. The stakes couldn't be higher for it, and they lived up to it. You know, I was hoping for a great movie, and I got the best. I couldn't be happier or more proud to be a die-hard Marvel fan. And with that, here are my Uranus Award Nominations. Oh, BT dubs. I'm just gonna call spoilers right here and now. It's really best that you watch the movie before you see this video, so you have been warned. First award, Best Director, Anthony and Joe Russo. Thank you. Thank you for sticking to your vision. Big shoes to fill after Joss Whedon made the first two Avengers film, but you have now made 3 of the best MCU movies. I can't wait for Avengers 4/Infinity Wars Part 2. Actor in a leading role, Josh Brolin as Thanos. He may look like a purple Homer Simpson, but Josh Brolin brought so much emotion to this supervillain that I didn't even think was possible. And he was so much more well-written than I had anticipated. Bravo. Actor in a supporting role, Chris Hemsworth as Thor. This was a beautiful performance from Mr. Hemsworth, almost as good as Snow White and the Huntsman. Actress in a supporting role, Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch. You guys might be shocked, but she was one of my favorite standouts of this movie. You know, I've always loved the character, and I love how strong and powerful she is. And also, I'm madly in love with her. Hello? Oh, hey, babe. Oh, no, I'm not really in love with Elizabeth Olsen. What's that? You look Henry Cavill? Must be the mustache. Tightest script. It took a lot of brain power to make so much plot flow so beautifully and so easily. There were a ton of characters, and yes, occasionally things got a tad messy and a little rushed, but even so, the pacing and build of this movie made everything work. Best camera work. Let's take a look. Best Marvel film. Yes. Coolest costume / makeup / hairstyling. Wakanda forever. Most believable CGI. 2 words. Iron Spider. The best villain. Thanos. You know, okay, we have been waiting for Thanos for 10 years. And we've had some small glimpses of his tight grip on his lackeys, but we're finally given a full dive into who he is and why he's doing all of this. He is obviously the strongest MCU villain ever. Is he a better villain than Killmonger? That's more subjective. It depends on what you need from a villain. For me, the sheer scope of his character and the boldness of his empathy makes him a strong contender for the best. So it could be close. We'll find out in January. Best romance. Star-Lord and Gamora. You know, I love their romance ever since Guardians, and this is just amplified to the max. Seriously, Xander? Best Easter egg slash cameo slash reference. Good old Stan Lee as the bus driver. Beautiful. Good to see you, Stan. Best movie poster. I love nothing more than an MCU poster collage, and this did not disappoint. This was possibly better than the Thor Ragnarok. Best fight sequence. Doctor Strange versus Thanos. When Doctor Strange made 10,000 copies of himself, I nearly jumped out of my seat. How do you hold hands with someone who has 20,000 of them? Homework. Most rockin' music. How many ways can Marvel use their theme song in one movie? The answer is, I don't care. Best trailer. Okay, most anticipated. I can't see a movie beating this. We've waited 10 years for this, and it's finally here. Like, we just watched this movie. After all of this build-up, the thrills, chills, blunders, and all this, it has happened. We've seen Avengers Infinity War. Saddest death. I have two, obviously. First, Loki. And if you've watched my video about Thor Ragnarok, you know how I feel about Loki, so like, Loki. He died in the first scene, and it was so sad, but also it was so smart because it showed how powerful Thanos was, and it gave us the indication that this movie has guts and actual stakes. The danger is real, bitches! The second is Gamora. We kind of knew she was gonna die just based on that conversation she had with Peter, where she said she had to kill her if Thanos gets a hold of her. Like, we were all waiting for it, but I for sure didn't expect it to happen the way it did. It was an incredibly moving moment when Thanos had to sacrifice the one thing he ever loved. Beautiful and so sad. Would I nominate this for Best Picture? Yeah, absolutely. Like I said earlier, this is my favorite MCU movie. Yeah, I'm still sitting on it. But anyway, this is my favorite movie of the year thus far. I have this as my clear frontrunner. Thank you so much for watching Crackin' It with Max. You want to see more content? Become a patron on Patreon and we'll be able to create more awesome videos. You can find that info in the description. Also, the Uranus Awards has a podcast. Listen to a bunch of dudes argue about movies, going in deep. Link is also in the description. We also have our written reviews, The Probe with Drew Helton and Xander Kozak. And new this year, we have What's in Pat's Trunk with Patrick Kukusin, who is reviewing television. So please, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Uranus Awards, like us on Facebook, listen to us on SoundCloud and iTunes. We're everywhere. Thanks for watching. That's it.